Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is not a let's play, it is a new Call of War country review. Today we will be reviewing nationalist China. Now China, well, it's a very interesting country. You might already know a couple of things based on my Japan country review, if you watch that. Basically, it's a good country, right? It's a very powerful country. 150 points, all core, so 15 cities, 15 core cities, and a pretty damn big economy, about rivaling Germany, and potentially a good bit bigger than Germany's, like a pretty good amount. Should actually be able to rival starting France, just as with this. But, well, you have a threat on your border, that being Japan. Japan is a giant threat that can invade you, and if you don't play your cards extremely well, you'll get your ass destroyed if they attack you in the first 2 days at least, or maybe even 3, so that's a thing. Your army is completely, how do I say this? It's completely and utterly terrible, and it sucks so much ass that I can't even say it. So this is your army. You have one interceptor, a single level 1 interceptor. Your entire army with it, with everything, air and ships, has 507 health. You also have 2 destroyers, so have no navy, have no air force, and you have a semi functional army. We're talking 6 level 1 infantry and 23 level 2 militias. I actually thought these were level 1 usually, but it seems like they're level 2, which is good. That might actually be a buff from Baicho, I'm not sure about it. And Japan has way more, and as you can see, they're patrolling my airspace, or my cities. They're preparing to attack, of course, and I have no doubt they will do. You have a bit of your army here, and you have quite the industry here in Zibei Sanma as well, with Iguan having double metal production. Chengdu is your capital. Your research, well, it's garbage. You have level 1 infantry, level 2 militia, so militias are something you could work with. If you get a good enough plan, this might work, just spamming militia since you have level 2 at the start already. And level 1 anti-tank and artillery, as well as anti-tank over here, level 1 armored car and light tank, as well as level 1 interceptor. Navy, you only have level 1 destroyers, and that's it. So you have bare shit research, honestly. You only have a couple of things. You're very non-industrialized, you really don't have much production either. So cities like Chongqing, Xi'an, and whatnot are basically not built up at all. And many of your core cities are close to Japan, to their border. Suzhou and Xi'an are 2 double production cities, are 1 province away from the Japanese border. This means they can take them easily and fuck the shit out of your production. It's not only that, it's also Wuhan, and then you have 2 right next to it, so yeah, that's another thing. It's not double production, but it's still a lot, and these 2 are also very close, so you can't really play around the lure them in strategy, really, because you get pushed in a little bit and your entire production falls, or at least half your possible military production, due to the cities of Xi'an and Suzhou, which, well, let's be honest, food and goods are your most important resources. Changsha and even this are also very close to the border, and Yunnafu isn't too far either. So you're really not in a good place, with all of this production and stuff. So China is very tough to play, very tough to win as. Against Japan, if you play the diplomacy right, you might be able to actually do it, but it's very unlikely. There's ways, especially in RP games, to go around it. If it is still a 1v1, you can go into debt, you can militarize the shit out of your country, you can sacrifice a fuck ton of things and potentially get strong enough to actually be able to hold the Japanese for a good amount of time and possibly even win. Of course, their navy is so powerful compared to yours, which you don't even have a navy really, and you won't be able to build one up if they are patrolling, or I guess watching over these cities with their navies that you won't be able to build one because they're gonna just destroy them to rubble, right? So you can't win that way either. You really can't invade them at all. If Japan decides to not sign peace with you, they can cause havoc on your coastal cities then. But of course you don't have any core cities there, so it shouldn't really be that big a problem. Not worth for either side, honestly, but yeah. If you do manage to, take them out, then you have the freedom to rule the entirety of Asia, honestly. Because you can take Communist China, you can take Tibet, Xinjiang, Manchukuo. Nobody in this, none of your neighbors other than Japan will stop you in your expansion. Potentially later on to the Soviet Union, which, has a very demilitarized Siberian front, and India, whose power is really slightly above any minor, like Tibet or Xinjiang, while you triple Xinjiang or Tibet or Mongolia or Manchukuo in strength. Maybe not economically, but city-wise you certainly do, and you can triple them economically as well. Well, not triple, because they have double cities, all of them, but still. And you only have 5, of course. So, you really have to find a way around this. Your country is very weak on all things, basically. If I do go to province administration and go to infrastructure, for example, we can see that only a couple of provinces have any infrastructure in them, and those are, it seems, only a couple of cities and no provinces at all. So you really don't have any infrastructure really. And your ability to mobilize, especially through these rough ass mountains in the west or even in the east itself, will be very difficult. You do have the Pan-Asian Doctrine, which, while it can help against Japan in, the cases that the infantry gets a bonus, which means their infantry is a defensive unit. Still, late game China, due to this doctrine, is a lot weaker than it should be, because Pan-Asian doesn't scale well with time. It actually goes, it actually falls a bit, because later on you don't have any buffs on tanks or any unit that is relevant, especially in offensive means. Sure, you have artillery, but you have light tanks buffed, and heavy tanks are gonna get destroyed by the Soviets, by the Comintern Doctrine, and your mediums by the Axis Doctrine, or even your heavies by the Axis Doctrine mediums, right? So you really don't have that much a chance late game, or you do, sure, you can get extremely powerful still, but that's a big debuff that you wanna keep in mind. So you wanna do something like infantry, artillery, and I guess some sort of tank. Whatever will work for you, but usually your light tanks will get annihilated by any other doctrine. So I kind of don't even recommend building tanks unless you're going like heavy or medium, which you don't have buffs on that, so that hurts a bit. But I guess heavies are the best option there, if you're gonna build any tank. So that's about it. Your infrastructure is garbage, you're deindustrialized, your production is pretty damn garbage, you have a garbage army, honestly, no air force, no navy, you're not in a good position, but your, opportunities for expansion are plentiful, and you can definitely take like all of Asia, and quite easily if you beat Japan. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys for the next one soon. See ya.